Today on the list, a Stranger Things star's new thriller. Moms helping one another through social media, and
You want to cook your veggies always in high heat.
how to bring out the flavors of vegetables.
I could eat these all day, every day.
Plus, finding community through surfing.
Here was this surf world who embraced them, and they found their friends and they found purpose.
But up first, the emergency kit for panic attacks. It's your life, it's your list, and it starts right now.
Hey everyone, I'm Jimmy Rhodes.
And I'm Christina Guerrero. Most of us have a first aid kit to help us through the bumps and bruises of daily life, but that's not usually the case when it comes to taking care of our brain.
But there is a remedy to that, and we can build our own. It's called a panic pack, and it's there to help us through those emotionally bumpy times.
That's right, we're checking out what to pack in a panic pack and how it works for people of all ages. And that's our featured story at the top of the list.
A panic attack can make you feel overwhelmed and out of control.
Sometimes panic can come from the brain, but other times panic comes from the body.
We met with naturopathic Dr. Nicole Kane in Phoenix, who showed us how to put together something called a panic pack, which can help prevent anxiety attacks. We'll look at 3 kinds. But first, what is its purpose?
A panic pack contains things that help the biology of panic.
When we get anxious, the amygdala, the panicky part of our brain, gets turned up.
And the problem with this part of the brain is that we can't logically access it. We have to access it through the body.
She says different sensations can help calm your fight or flight response.
Smell and sight and temperature and touch and texture.
So the first pack is for a child. Nicole's using a fanny pack for this one.
If you can use cold around the eyes on the face, that evokes a response in the nervous system that makes it calm.
She says temperature is an effective tool.
These are emergency cold packs, and you just break them and it gets really cold, and you just place it over your eyes, on your face.
Warmth can also soothe some kids.
We have the hand warmers in there. Same thing, you kind of shake them up and they get warm for you.
Another tool, fidgets.
What fidgets are going to do is they're providing stimuli to the brain. So you have the rough textures, the rolly textures, the movement.
So that's texture and touch. Now, breath.
When we're feeling anxious, the first thing that you can do is extend your exhale.
Bubbles or a straw both help with this.
So you're going to inhale.
She says to inhale slowly, hold for a few seconds, exhale slowly, and then hold again. Next up, a panic pack for adults. Adults can also carry the items that were in the child's panic pack, but Nicole adds a pill container in case you have anxiety meds.
I love Kava Kava for panic attacks. Have you ever used this before?
No,
It relaxes the body without shutting your brain off, so you don't feel slow, you can feel alert.
You just add it to water. She also suggests essential oils for kids and adults.
So you can take the lavender and put a little bit on your finger and apply it in the bowl of each ear.
Nicole says it produces GABA, a chemical messenger that calms your brain. Finally, a travel panic pack.
So one thing you should put in your panic pack when you're traveling are headphones.
Great music. Yes,
Great
something
music.
to calm you.
Search for Alpha Wave Music on your favorite streaming service.
Alpha wave music puts your brain into an alpha state. And so an alpha state is calm, chill.
She also suggests items for taste, like lozenges and honey sticks.
So the last thing that we have here is sage. That's another thing that we can smell and we can touch.
God, your hacks are going to be a game changer for my life.
Panic packs are at the top of the list.
When cookout season kicks in, meat is usually center stage, but if you're looking to enjoy the grilling without laying waste to your waistline, we learn from a pro chef about how grilled vegetables can be the star of your next barbecue.
We're entering prime backyard barbecue time, and after a long winter for a lot of the nation, people are champing at the bit to throw some burgers on the grill. But if you're looking to break out of the norm and impress your guests in the process, have you ever thought about upping your vegetable game?
If people don't like grilled veggies, they're probably doing it wrong, right?
Yes, they are.
I met up with Jesse Sosa, head teppanyaki chef at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse in Scottsdale, Arizona, who taught me some grilling tips to make the idea of eating your veggies an absolute delight. It all starts with the right cut. Jesse says a common way we mess up our veggies is by slicing them the wrong way. For example, zucchini.
My instinct is always to make little medallions.
I prefer it to be long ways, so when you're grilling, it's easier to flip.
He says it also promotes even cooking, and it gives you a more substantial piece of food to attack instead of a little circle of zucchini.
You want to cut it like a 1/4 inch thickness.
Jesse recommends cutting carrots in a similar way.
There's a little small trick to cutting. If you have an object that's circular, you can cut like a little piece of like towards the end of it so it can be flat.
Yeah, now it's not wobbly.
And I had to ask about my favorite, asparagus.
Can't imagine you'd slice something that skinny lengthwise.
You want to cut them like 2 inches from the end of it, so that's what you want to take off. It's harder to eat, it's tough.
The next step toward veggie perfection is the right preparation. Jesse says all you need is a simple mixture of olive oil, garlic, salt, and pepper to make them stand out. The oil also prevents sticking.
If it's too much spices, it takes away of the flavor of your vegetable.
Because we're trying to make the veggie the hero.
Yeah.
Now that our veggies are ready for the grill, we need to know the right heat.
You want to cook your veggies always in high heat. 'Cause
Why is that?
If you cook your vegetables in low heat, you'll get that smushy.
Jesse says to crank it to 450 to 500 degrees and recommends buying a flat top attachment that you can place on top of your grill. They're easy to find from makers such as Steel-Made Cookware.
So your vegetables don't fall down.
Oh, I've lost so many, especially asparagus.
Yeah.
I've lost so many of those to the fire.
When they start to curl a bit, it's time to turn them over. Cook them for a couple minutes on each side. Now bust out your favorite dip and go to town.
Yum, yum.
Yeah.
I could eat these all day, every day.
Now all I need to do is brush up on my spatula skills.
You have a good flip. Hey, there you go. You got it.
We're learning some nifty tricks to give our veggies the glow up they deserve.
Well, contrary to popular belief, surfing doesn't just happen in California or Hawaii. It's a global sport. Disney's new docuseries Chasing Waves is all about the world of surfing. Jackie Danker took 5 to hang 10 and learn more.
When you think of surfing, you may imagine
dirty beach blonde hair, blue eyes, like that surfer look.
but
There's so many people around the world who surf.
take it from Japanese-American surfer and Olympian Mahina Maeda, who is one of the Japanese athletes highlighted in Disney Plus's docuseries Chasing Waves.
The future of surfing in Japan's really bright. There's many talented surfers coming up into the world stage.
We caught up with Mahina and the director of the series, Jason Baffa, to learn how surfing can bring everyone together.
As this global surf community, we become this amalgamation of all these different things.
Starting with, it can bring commonalities between different cultures.
We have Japanese American, a Japanese Hawaiian, a Japanese Australian, and you still see that on their Japanese side, there is this traditional, rooted focus on detail.
Something Mahina, though having grown up on the North Shore of Hawaii, notices as well.
I was born from Japanese parents, so that's obviously written in my DNA. All of us are all very super silent, humble warriors. We have that fighting spirit, just like our ancestors, the samurais, and that's where our humbleness comes from, being Japanese.
And no matter what culture you are from, surfing can be a creative outlet.
I kind of see surfing almost as like ballet. There's an art form to the movement that each athlete brings. The ocean's always changing. So it's this dance between Mother Nature and the athlete or the artist.
You're the paintbrush, and then the wave itself is a canvas. You're also expressing who you are as a person, by showing off that style and creativeness.
Finally, surfing provides a supportive community for so many.
On a series like Chasing Waves, where you really dig pretty deep into some different characters, each of them in a different way was maybe a little confused in their identity, whether that was being multicultural and trying to fit in. But here was this surf world who embraced them, and they found their friends and they found purpose.
There were a lot of things that I've had to go through. Getting made fun of for having smaller eyes, being able to connect with people in the surfing world and have something similar, it's super nice and comforting.
It is really neat to see how this one thing unites everyone.
Following the tides of life with Disney Plus's Chasing Waves.
Still to come on the list, unique ways to remember your loved ones.
After the cremation is done, that carbon is compressed into an actual graded diamond.
Plus, easy at-home meals that kids will love.
Today we're doing a breakfast for lunch with mini pancakes and bacon.
And Stranger Things star Noah Schnapp takes on a very different role.
The story is a crazy story that'll blow your mind.
All that and more ahead on the list.
Welcome back, and now we're going to talk about a subject people usually avoid, death.
But we are taking the avoidance and making it interesting. For instance, did you know more and more folks are choosing cremation over burials?
And even more interesting, we're looking at some amazing ways people are using ashes to make lasting memories.
When planning their farewell, fewer people are choosing a traditional burial. They're selecting cremation instead and honoring their lives in new and very interesting ways. We turn to Elisa Krilisek, Vice President of Mountain View Funeral Home in Mesa, Arizona, to find out why cremations are increasing.
Today, nationwide, you're looking at almost 65% cremation across the nation.
That number was 10% in 1970. And according to the National Funeral Directors Association, it's expected to approach 80% by the year 2040.
From a standpoint of convenience, sometimes you're kind of in a situation you can't afford to ship an entire human body back home to be buried, but you can afford to do a cremation and then have services and have the cremated remains buried.
Also, religions have relaxed a bit. Some resisted cremation because of views about the sanctity of the body and its attachment to the spirit.
I think there's differences in families' beliefs. Religions are becoming a little bit less strict.
She says there are also more unique ways now to memorialize your loved ones with their ashes besides the traditional urn.
The options of what can be done with cremated remains surpasses what you could do with burial.
You can enclose your loved one's ashes into a pendant or a decorative piece for your home or into a stone.
Today, people have a lot of stress and anxiety, and so they have healing stones. These are like authentic of your loved one's cremated remains, and it just gives people that peace that they're right there with them.
But if a stone is too simple, you can go more bold and turn your loved one's ashes into sparkling diamonds.
After the cremation is done, that carbon is compressed into an actual graded diamond.
Machines use high pressure and temperature to simulate the same process that makes diamonds underground. You can also choose the color. Next up, you can wear your loved one's ashes permanently in a tattoo.
I have a very close friend who lost her dad, and on her ankle she has dad, and his cremated remains are in there.
Are in the tattoo itself?
In the tattoo.
Tattoo artists use ink that's infused with cremated ash.
So now the remains of her dad actually live in her.
In her, all the time. They never go away.
Finally, you can put a loved one's ashes in fireworks.
If it's legal, ethical, and feasible, we figure why not? Fireworks, people have done complete musical.
In the fireworks? They put the remains in the
Yes, and you can have an entire show with music and lights just like on the 4th of July.
That is fabulous.
Yeah.
We're looking at creative ways to use cremated remains.
Well, with Mother's Day coming up, we are looking for ways to celebrate the women who gave us life and then taught us how to live it. Teresa Strasser's looking at 3 momfluencers sharing their view on motherhood. Teresa.
Thank you. With more than 2 billion likes combined, and yes, that is a B for billion, these momfluencers are showing what mom life looks like in their own respective ways. Coming in at number 1, Team 2 Moms.
This is simple. This is mommy, this is mama. Mommy had my sister, and mama had my brother and me.
Mommies Ebony and Denise, who have been married for 12 years, share their journey hoping to inspire, inform, and connect with people who might be curious about raising their own family.
And every day's a dream when I'm carrying your love with me.
And while it may be confusing to some, they're breaking everything down to help you understand.
Donor versus father.
There seems to be a confusion between the differences. A father raises their children, where a donor just donates anonymously.
There you have it. At number 2, Sully Jessica.
Let's make some lunch for my kids.
Jessica Wu, also known as the Bento Box Queen, has become popular on TikTok for sharing what she makes for her kids' lunch every day.
Today we're doing a breakfast for lunch with mini pancakes and bacon.
Not only is she showing how diverse you can be with your kids' lunches, she's also making meals the entire family can enjoy. I could scroll through that account all day of things I am too lazy to make for my own kids. And last on our list of momfluencers, Abby Herbert.
A morning in my life with 2 kids under 2. It is 6:22 in the morning, and I woke up to this gremlin next to me. I have no idea how she got in her bed, but she's cute, so she can stay. Jagger was up and ready to party. Poppy was watching Cocomelon at 6 in the morning, and that is how I felt about it.
Abby is serving up real motherhood, but with a comedic twist.
Walk, 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 woohoo! Walk, 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 woohoo! Smaller steps, wow!
While most of her videos have a funny side, she also shares the moments of motherhood that make it all worth it.
What is it? It's soft, yeah.
And baby day. And blue.
And blue.
She said it's soft. I am seeing great big sister potential so far. And those were some momfluencers showing us what motherhood looks like to them. More to come on the list. Stay with us.
We're back. Now, a lot of families hire tutors to help their children succeed. But today on the watch list, Zach Perry talks to the stars of the new movie, The Tutor, and spoiler alert, you may never want to hire another tutor again.
You must be Sir Jackson.
You must be Ethan.
In the new movie, The Tutor, Garrett Hedlund plays a tutor helping a young man played by Noah Schnapp. But things are not what they seem.
He's obsessed with me in a total stalker sort of way.
The stars gave us a few more details about the film.
The story's a crazy story that'll blow your mind.
First, the character Noah plays is a huge departure from his role on Netflix's Stranger Things.
It was such a challenge, but a fun one to get to play this role that was so different from something I'm so used to, like Will Byers.
What about the baby? Was it planned?
How do you know about the baby?
This character starts off kind of timid and politely quiet, but then he opens up and he has these mental outbursts and becomes destructive and obsessive, and just all these layers and dimensions to this character that I found so fun to play. So I'm excited for the world to see that.
This needs to stop right now.
All that action builds to a shocking ending.
You stay away from my family, or I'll hurt you.
By the end, you realize that both of these characters have pasts that seem to coincidentally collide at a very key moment, like 2 trains going on the same track. Keeps you on the edge of your seat. It was the reason I wanted to do this film.
Having all those inner questions of, is he good? Is he bad? What are his intentions? It kind of just rocks your mind the whole time. And I think it all builds up to that crazy ending that flips everything upside down.
How was your evening, Ethan?
And the stars relate to each other just as their characters do. Garrett made his film debut in 2004's Troy, alongside Brad Pitt, at about the same age Noah is right now.
When I stepped on set, I was so naive to the technicalities, man. I didn't know about a filming process. When we were shooting Troy and I was to do off-camera lines, and Brad had said to me, just stand as close to the lens as you can, give the lines from here. And I'm like, what am I doing? We're in a sword fight. I'm in the scene. Why not be on camera? You know, I was so aloof to everything that goes into film.
Nervous? Petrified.
Noah's knocking him out of the park when I was walking around like a deer in the headlights. No notes. I just say, go, go, go. And you keep flying.
For more of our interview, check out the guest list on our YouTube channel, The List Show TV. We're putting The Tutor on your watch list.
Okay, see, this right here is why I never studied.
Oh, really? And I suppose if someone came out with a psychological thriller called The Maid, you'd never do housework either.
Wait, did I do something?
Yeah, probably not. The housework gender gap persists. Last on our list is next.
Welcome back. It's time for what's last on our list. And KG, I sent you this link From the Pew Research Center, look at this. In a growing share of U.S. marriages, husbands and wives earn about the same, so mission accomplished. We've achieved parity.
Yeah, pretty sure that's not completely true, but look just below the headline here. Even when earnings are similar, husbands spend more time on paid work and leisure, while wives devote more time to caregiving and housework.
Okay, you know, I tried sending you this when you wouldn't actually have time to read it before the show.
Yeah, I don't need an article to tell me that, but yes, in marriages where the husband and wife earn about the same, husbands spend about 3.5 hours more per week on leisure activities than wives do. Wives in these marriages spend roughly 2 hours more per week on caregiving than husbands do, and about 2.5 hours more on housework. So what were you saying about that whole mission being accomplished?
Okay, well, maybe, think of it this way, those 2 more hours of caregiving are only because caregiving here is being defined as, you know, giving care.
Oh boy. Okay, and he just keeps digging, but go on.
No, wait. What if, say, that time spent napping on the couch is providing the children space for self-directed play?
Oh, is this how you parented? Oh, your kids were feral, right? Caged little animal toddlers?
No, their mom went all helicopter parent on them and fed and clothed them and stuff like that. But, you know, I like that term, feral parenting. That could catch on. I think I'm going to start a parenting newsletter.
You know, you should just go ahead and put down your shovel, get yourself out of that hole. All right, friends? That's what's last on our list. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Tomorrow on the list, secrets to a well-lived life from a centenarian.
True healing happens when the spirit gets involved with the process.
Plus, navigate your way through a major life change.
When you think about an okay life versus an amazing life, it's always worth it.
And how to keep kids safe online.
It warrants sitting down for a half hour and seeing what your kids are doing.
Tomorrow on the list.